watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
A 92-year-old woman recovers from an attack by an intruder. Good evening, everybody. I'm David Oliver.
And I'm Ashley Katz. We're glad you could join us tonight. This home invasion happened early this morning east of Spokane. A burglar got into a house with three women inside and is still on the loose tonight. New at 10, Kevin Schwaller spoke with one of the victims who is thankful to be alive.
Edith Burke says she couldn't see who was in her home. It was dark the early morning hours, and she suspects the person may have known the layout of the house.
Used to never even lock the door.
The walls of Edith Burke's home hold memories of family.
I'm 92 and a half.
Burke says 19 kids passed through this home.
And about 4 o'clock I heard her making a noise and I jumped up.
This memory,
I didn't have time to get scared.
is one Burke could have done without, an assault on her and one of her daughters.
Yelled, "Angel, I'm a-coming."
Burke says an intruder left her with reminders of the attack in bruises and cuts.
He come out of her room and ran into me and knocked me down. And then when he knocked me down, he went stomping me.
She tried to fight him off, then she yelled for her other daughter.
Rosetta, get the gun. There's a man in here.
The guy jumped out the window.
I've got a big board over it.
Burke says if she hadn't yelled for a gun, it could have been worse.
I think he would have killed us.
You sound like you put up quite a fight.
I had to. Because he was determined to.
The memories from tonight are better,
God had to be with me, or with us.
knowing this family is safe and together. The family believes the intruder specifically targeted their home. However, Christian County Sheriff Joey Kyle did not immediately know why that may be.
Thanks, Kevin. And the sheriff could not get into too many of the investigative details of this case, but he did say he's not too worried about the safety of that neighborhood. And situations like this one emphasize the need for people to take precautions for their own safety.
That's a very dangerous crime to be the victim of. I mean, it's very fluid and it's extremely dangerous. These ladies were fortunate.
Also tonight, new at 10, a Greene County jury has convicted a man of murder just after 8 o'clock tonight. Jordan Martin was found guilty for the 2010 death of Cody Ray. Martin drove another man, James Duke, to a home on West Chicago, and Duke shot and killed Ray. Duke was sentenced last summer. Martin will be sentenced now, coming up in September. Also tonight, new at 10, investigators hope to quickly solve several recent burglaries in Boone County, Arkansas. The sheriff says in the last 2 weeks, 4 businesses and 2 homes have been hit. He tells us deputies recovered video surveillance, fingerprints, and other physical evidence. Also new tonight, firefighters believe a grass fire is nearly contained. You see right here more than 50 acres burned out near Hollister. The Western Taney County Fire Protection District says a piece of farm equipment there malfunctioned, which started the flames. They destroyed 2 outbuildings, and a farmer suffered minor burns. Conditions are ripe for grass fires. That is clear out there. Jamie's got an update for us right now on the weekend forecast.
Yeah, some areas actually have been very, very dry or have gotten dry over the last several weeks, especially to the west and south of Springfield, where the rains just have not been as prevalent as areas to the east. Now, temperatures today featured quite a range of conditions as well. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s for highs here back toward Highway 63 after morning lows in the upper 50s. 88 here in Springfield today. It was a dry heat, while areas to the west topped out in the low to mid 90s. Summer holding on there. Not only summer temperatures, but summer humidity. We had heat index values along Highway 71 in the upper 90s today, while the rest of the area, including Springfield, enjoyed what I call a July delight. And this is why. Take a look at these temperatures here at 10 o'clock. Upper 60s already in Rolla, 64 in West Plains, 75 in Springfield. Very comfortable out there, but still holding on to 80 in Joplin. Forecast for tomorrow looking great. Golden sunshine from start to finish. Pleasant start too. And the warmth that we find in the afternoon, well, it'll be without the humidity, but humidity will return to the forecast. More on that later.
Thanks, Jamie. A suspected cattle rustler faces several charges. Prosecutors and Greene County deputies think this man, 67-year-old Howard Perryman of Monette, stole the cattle from 2 different farms. And Color 10's Melanie Chapman learned today they think he could be responsible for more crimes.
Dozens of cattle stolen in the night. Farmers' livelihoods jeopardized.
Dealing with the parasites of society as far as I'm concerned.
7 cows were taken from Jim Pipkin's Springfield farm last June.
Sure, we'd like to have them back, but I want the people that did it worse than I want the cattle.
Then it happened. After a 12-hour manhunt throughout Greene County, 67-year-old Howard Perryman of Monette was arrested Thursday evening. Investigators from 7 different counties have worked months to link Perryman to crimes, stolen cattle, and equipment worth more than $100,000.
Everybody's been kind of on edge. The farmers have been trying to watch for each other.
Investigators got their break in the case when more than a dozen head of cattle were taken from this farm in Walnut Grove. The thief may have gotten away with the cattle, but he left something very important behind. Investigators say they found a paper towel in the tire tracks where the cows were stolen. That paper towel had DNA evidence. The DNA matched Perryman's. It also matched the DNA in 4 other cases. Now Perryman is charged with stealing cattle from Jim Pipkin and the cattle from Walnut Grove. Even though this accused cattle rustler is off the fields, farmers are still not at ease.
I know we've already kind of, you can't take your guard down at all, because just because one guy's caught don't mean there ain't somebody else out there. But if he is the head honcho of it all, then that'll sure help things.
Investigators are working right now to figure out if Perryman is responsible for any of the other cattle thefts that have been reported in the recent months.
Jury deliberations resume tomorrow morning in the George Zimmerman murder trial. The former Florida Neighborhood Watch member is accused of killing Trayvon Martin. Back here in Springfield, more Neighborhood Watch programs are forming tomorrow. In fact, the Springfield Police Department will host a special class devoted to letting folks know what to look for and how to keep their own neighborhood safe.
We encourage them to take the responsibility, police their own area. Pick the trash up, make sure your landscaping is maintained and manicured. Look at the lights, look at the way shrubbery and trees are growing in front of a residence.
The motto of the class is see something, say something. Officers are urging folks to be aware of what's going on. If you want to start a Neighborhood Watch program where you live, the first step is to get other people together, then reach out to the police department.
Another type of course, gun safety courses, can now be taught in Missouri schools to students as young as first grade. Governor Jay Nixon signed Senate Bill 75 into law. It allows the use of the National Rifle Association's Eddie Eagle Gun Safe program. That program encourages kids to not approach a weapon if they see one. The course is not mandatory. The law also changes the process for getting a concealed carry permit. Missourians will go directly to their sheriff's office for a permit rather than receiving an endorsement on their driver's license.
In tonight's medical coverage here at 10 o'clock, a doctor in the Ozarks wants you to know the realities of CPR. He says it does not work very often. Dr. Robert Saylor at Mercy points out that pounding on a chest cannot help certain medical conditions. But the regional CEO of the Red Cross says there's no way to know if someone will survive unless you try.
There have been thousands of people saved because a trained person was there immediately and did CPR.
You can pound on my chest all day long, but if I die from a stroke, it's not going to change my stroke at all. I'm still going to die.
CPR has been around since 1960. Since then, the American Heart Association estimates that more than 14 million people in 60 countries have been trained on how to perform it.
Springfield-based Great Southern Bank plans to close 11 of its branches. 3 of them here in the Ozarks. Fairplay, Humansville, and Wablo is where those closures will take place. Great Southern will keep ATMs, though, at each of those sites. Workers at those branches may be able to transfer. Now, if not, they will receive a severance package. A downtown revitalization program brings people to small town squares on Friday nights throughout the summer.
But as our Nathan Vickers found out in reports tonight, Cassville's event today might seem a little bit out of season.
Christmas decorations line the storefront of a small pharmacy where Tanya Davison works, although today she goes by a different name.
My name is Clarnella Ruhu, straight from Whoville.
Davison runs an old-fashioned soda fountain out of the building. She and dozens of the square's other tenants are decking out their halls 5 months early. Davison is using her talents to make Grinch-themed beverages.
It's not just about selling things and, making the dollar, and that's kind of what's nice about a small town is there's other things that are more important.
As part of a summer series of events on the square, the Cassville Chamber of Commerce came up with the idea to bring the Christmas spirit to a small town.
I just think it's something different. Who doesn't love Christmas time? So we definitely have incorporated some of the traditional Christmas aspects, but I know Santa Claus will be here tonight riding a lawnmower. So that's definitely something different that you won't see in December.
The whole event is about nostalgia for holidays, for movies, and for old-fashioned milkshakes.
it just connects you to that time in history. So it's very cool.
Retailers like Chuck Pylant say Friday nights downtown remind people of a time when town squares thrived.
Hopefully eventually on Saturdays the square will be, just full of people like it used to be when I was a kid here.
The events also bring people into his store.
It brings a lot of people back into the square, and they're wandering around and they're looking.
Chamber expects more than 500 people to show up tonight to see decorations, musicians, food, and even a 5K race.
It's about a community event for everyone to get together and just appreciate each other's company and have a fun time with your family.
And even though it's 90 degrees in Cassville, Missouri, the town still manages to show off its holiday spirit. In Cassville, Nathan Vickers.
By the way, tonight the town also showed the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Well, parents are heading to court in one local town. They're trying to hold a school district accountable.
Yeah, they're suing as a result of one teacher's actions.
They got an F on this one. Failed.
The crimes that former teacher admitted to and their impact on his students.
And if you haven't already found us on Facebook, it's easy to do. Look for the Facebook icon on ozarksfirst.com.
More local news here at 10 o'clock this evening. Parents are suing a local school district because their children were molested by a teacher.
In 2011, Ralph Moyle taught third grade at Long Lane Elementary in the Dallas County School District. He was accused of molesting boys under age 14. Now, last year, Moyle pleaded guilty to several sex crimes and lost his teaching certificate. He's right now serving 15 years in the Missouri Department of Corrections. One family told Color 10 the school district did not do enough to protect children there. We are not showing their faces, so their child will not be identified.
These children's lives have been destroyed, and they'll deal with this forever. Just because he's guilty and he's in prison, it doesn't stop there.
And Color 10 tried to contact the Dallas County School District today, but did not receive a response.
Insurance covers some of the money embezzled from the Missouri State University bookstore. The school received a $1 million check. Last year, you'll recall, former bookstore manager Mark Brixey stole about $1.2 million. Brixey resigned in later pleaded guilty in federal court. He's scheduled to be sentenced next month. University President Cliff Smart says the money will now be deposited in a bank account until there is a plan for it.
A local ministry is asking for your help to make sure needy kids head back to class with confidence. Victory Mission will be hosting a clothing collection day. That is tomorrow at Springfield Kmart locations. Bins will be set up in the parking lot there from 10 until 3. You see the locations right there on your screen. It's asking for new or gently used clothes that would fit a kindergartner up to a senior in high school. The clothes, along with the school supplies, will be given away on August 6th.
Tonight, new at 10, more than 100 vendors are going to move into their new home over at the Farmers Market of the Ozarks tomorrow morning. Workers were still putting on some finishing touches out there tonight. Of course, the Farmers Market now has its own permanent building just behind Farmers Park over at Republic Road and Nature Center Way. That's down there off of South Glenstone. Construction on that development, we're told, should be all wrapped up in November. Things are really taking shape over there. Hopefully folks can get out and enjoy the Farmers Market tomorrow. Jamie, nice weekend ahead, we're hoping?
A beautiful weekend ahead. I think this weekend just as nice as the last weekend, and it was a good one. After this weekend, though, heat and humidity making a return, and lots of the area could use a little rain. Is that in the forecast? We'll take a look at that. Your 7-Day coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, well, a beautiful evening once again across the area. We've seen 2 in a row here, and it looks like we're going to be able to string maybe 1 or 2 more beyond tonight. Let's take a look at the numbers right now where we stand here in Springfield, 75 degrees. What makes it feel so nice outside? The dew point. It's very low, 55-degree dew point. Relative humidity very low at 50%. So you don't have that air that you can wear. In fact, you can just get out there and just sort of relax out on the patio. Take a look at the temperatures across the region. Ranges from the upper 60s to the east to mid-70s here along Highway 65 to around 80 along Highway 71. What's going on? Well, we have more moisture to the west. That's holding temperatures up. This is where the summer muggies have been pushed to across Kansas and Oklahoma especially. This is where we saw temperatures top out around the century mark. While further east, we've got that July delight that's ongoing. And take a look at these readings. You might expect to see a range like this during the winter or the spring or the fall, but maybe not during the summertime. But we have it tonight. 60s to the east and near 90 to the west. Wichita at 89 degrees right now at this hour. It's quiet across the entire region. We've got dry air upstairs in the atmosphere, which has just flooded the area, and that's what gave us the crystal clear skies today. Still tracking this feature here. This is an upper level disturbance. Notice it is now beginning to peel on off toward the west-southwest as the ridge that's located right here has captured it, and it's actually going to cause it to move toward the west-southwest underneath that ridge over the next few days. And this disturbance will pass right across the area on Sunday. Now, oftentimes when you've got a disturbance as strong as this one, you're going to get rain. But the atmosphere is so dry that it doesn't have much moisture to work with. So aside from some cloud cover, we're probably not going to see much more than that. Certainly Saturday is going to be quiet. Tonight we'll find clear skies. Tomorrow we're going to find sunny skies from start to finish. A little bit of high cloudiness may try to develop during the mid to late afternoon hours on Saturday. Saturday night looks quiet. And then on Sunday, that upper level energy, which is located right about here at 7 o'clock, will make its way across the area. And when it encounters a little bit deeper moisture to the west, that's where we're going to have the best chance for a few showers and thunderstorms, basically along and west of Highway 71, with the rest of the area to the east on Sunday probably remaining dry. Now, behind this storm, oddly enough, that's when the moisture comes in. And we're going to find deeper moisture in place across the Ozarks Monday and Tuesday. So these are going to be our 2 days where we have a shot at realistically seeing some shower and thunderstorm activity. After Tuesday, this ridge of high pressure kind of builds back into the area. The atmosphere dries out again, and it's back to just plain old hot and humid conditions Wednesday through the rest of next week. Overnight tonight, take a look at these temperatures, and there will be a big range. Cool to the east, where we'll see lows in the mid to upper 50s. Low 60s along Highway 65 to mid to upper 60s further west, closer to Highway 71. Tomorrow, that's where the heat will be in the low 90s. 88 in Springfield, but a dry heat, while further east it looks like mid 80s for highs. Similar story for Sunday. Monday, we'll notice the humidity increasing area-wide. Tuesday, it'll be humid and warm. Partly cloudy both days with a few showers and thunderstorms around, mainly in the afternoon and evening. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, mostly sunny, just a very slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm. The bigger story is going to be the return of summer weather. Lows in the low 70s and highs in the low 90s.
Have we hit 100 yet this summer?
Not yet.
I don't think so.
And really, we can thank, I believe, we can thank the pattern that we're in right now, but I think we can also thank the fact that we had as much precipitation, rainfall, snowfall during the spring leading up into the summer. That made it a lot harder for the sun to heat up those temperatures.
What if we went the whole summer without 100-degree reading?
That'd be a nice thing.
It would be rare. We'll see what happens. Thanks a lot.
And warm Springfield welcome, Andy Roddick.
In case you didn't know, Andy Roddick and the Springfield Lasers were in action tonight.
Yeah, Lucy's coming up with sports. He's got highlights from the Stadium Court there, plus Cards and Cubs action from Wrigley.
And now, Color 10 Sports with Dan Lucy.
Well, it was a celebration of tennis tonight at the Cooper Tennis Complex. The Springfield Lasers had Andy Roddick on the court tonight against the Breakers. Before the match, the former U.S. Open champ talked about playing for Springfield.
Not for a decade, so it's it's nice to see. I mean, the crowd the first night was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And the Lasers really kind of had the spirit of what you shoot for in World Team Tennis.
Now, Springfield was looking for its third straight win against the Orange County Breakers, and Roddick would team up with Jean-Julien Roger in men's doubles. But the Breakers would win that opening match 5-3. Springfield's Roger, and then he would team up with Alisa Klebanova and won the mixed doubles 5-4. That went into a tie-break. Roddick then played Steve Johnson in men's singles next, and that would go into a tie-break as well. But the 2003 U.S. Open champ would win that 5-3, take the set 5-4. Springfield trailed 18-16 going into the last set. Women's doubles, and Vanya King and Klebanova won 5-1. The Lasers win 21-19. Springfield now 4-1, and they win tonight. St. Louis Cardinals continue their series against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Matt Holliday did not play this afternoon after pulling his right hamstring last night. Holliday sitting out probably the next couple of games going into the All-Star break with the injury. St. Louis breaks on top first inning. Carlos Beltran hammers this one into the right field corner. Matt Carpenter scores to make it 1-0. Then Alan Craig would single up the middle, driving home Beltran. That makes it 2-0 St. Louis. Alan Craig now with 72 runs batted in this season. Cubs cut that lead in half in the third. Alfonso Soriano singles to center. Luis Valbuena scores 2-1. St. Louis then flashing the leather in the fifth. Check out Matt Carpenter, the all-star, with the snow cone catch. Cubs rally, but St. Louis hangs on to win 3-2. This is what the NL Central looks like after today's action. St. Louis with a 1.5 game lead on the Pirates in the Central. Cincinnati stays 5 back. Cubs and Brewers are bringing up the rear. The Springfield Cardinals snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 13-inning win last night. And then tonight down at Northwest Arkansas, Springfield wins 4-0. 2 of the Cards' 4 runs scored on bases-loaded walks by the Naturals. The Kansas City Royals continued their road trip tonight in Cleveland. The Royals trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. KC has lost patience with Luis Mendoza. Bruce Chen stepped up to replace him in the starting rotation. He started tonight. Looking at the American League Central going into the game, Kansas City trying to catch Cleveland for second place behind the Detroit Tigers. Royals skipper Ned Yost watching a pitcher's duel early. Cleveland's Corey Kluber would get Billy Butler swinging at some high heat. Kluber would go 7 2/3 with 8 strikeouts. Butler, Hosmer, Gordon all 0 for 11. Cleveland flashing the leather as Drupal Cabrera robbing Salvador Perez of a base hit. Chen in the first start of his season would get Mark Reynolds the strikeout swinging right here. Bruce Chen going 6 scoreless. It would go to the Royals bullpen. 7th inning, Carlos Santana would single to center. Jason Kipnis rounds third, heads for home, and he would slide around the tag to make it a 1-0 Indians lead. Michael Bourne then would add another RBI single here. Indians hand Kansas City its 3rd straight loss, 3-0. And a number of Mizzou alumni have gathered in Springfield for the 4th annual Zoe and Friends Weekend. Former Mizzou Tiger and NFL star Lorenzo Williams hosting the 2-day event that teed off today with a golf tournament at Twin Oaks. Tomorrow, the football Tigers will host a clinic for Springfield kids. And then new this year is a basketball game tomorrow night featuring Mizzou alum against members of the Drury National Championship team. They hope to raise $50,000 for 10 local charities over the weekend.
We hope they do. Dan, thanks a lot.
Our final word after this.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
Well, we have finally made it to the weekend. We hope you have a good one.
That's right. Be safe out there, folks. Hope to see you back here next Monday for Color 10 News. For now, good night.